Welcome everyone. I'm the first one to present something for this ICT hotspot, and Ben put me in the hot seat here. Put me on first, thanks Ben. Just by show of hands, any idea how many people are familiar with SeeSaw? A couple of hands here. Bunbury, anyone SeeSaw? Yeah, one. Anyone actively using SeeSaw in their classrooms? So, okay, looks like Rockingham has been working on it for a few years, and it has been running for a couple of years already. SeeSaw is a student or teacher-driven digital portfolio, and it's actually suitable across the years, so it's not only for an early years type of learning, and through it you'll find a lot of ways that your students can actually showcase their work, showcase their learning and their understanding. So what is SeeSaw? First of all, it's an app that you need to get. Uh-oh, dropped out. Sorry about that, this is technology at its best. Just doing a direct link now so we don't drop out again. AirPlay seems to have a trouble in the library here. Okay, can you get this back on the slides? Here we go, we're back online again. Can you see? All good? Okay. SeeSaw is an app that can be applied to your iPads, your computer, the phones, everything like that. It enables students of any age to independently document their learning and what they're learning at school. It also allows teachers and students to capture learning. You can use photos, videos, you can add all sorts of digital creations. Everything gets organised, you store everything in one place, and you can easily access it by teachers from any device, which makes it really handy if you don't have iPads handy. Also for families, it's a way for them to link to it and be able to use their phone, their computers at home. It doesn't have to be Apple iPads or Apple computers at all. Students' work can be shared with their own classmates, with their parents, or if you go into the World Wide Web on a class blog. That of course involves a little more in terms of protection for our students and making sure that we're not just publishing work out there on the World Wide Web. As we have it set up in Rockingham, we do not do class blogs. That is a paid subscription. The one that we use is a free one, and the limit to that one is just using it as an app within our own class and within our own families. So SeeSaw can link to any of these devices. You can use iOS, Apple devices, you can use Androids, Chromebooks, computers with Chrome or Firefox and Kindle Fire, which means in every home, somehow they would be able to have access to SeeSaw. Why bother using SeeSaw? It enables students to document their learning as it happens. It gets posted and it's straight away available to families and to the teacher. In the orange box, it develops students' writing skills, their reflection skills and their critical thinking skills. In the burgundy box, it gives children their responsibility and ownership for what goes into their portfolios. So it can be a combined portfolio where the teacher decides what work goes in, where students can also decide if they want to showcase work. The green box is our ICT that we are developing. It's also developed in a very safe, moderated environment. The only people having access to this are the teachers, the students themselves in their own class, if they have access to each other's, and also their own families, only those who are directly linked. So not everyone in the school community gets to see what's on SeeSaw, only the parents get to see their own child's portfolio. The blue box, it creates a strong community around learning. Now that's been a real push while we have promoted it in Rockingham, because parents are going, oh, I wish they had this in this class, and I wished I had had this work in, had seen the work of my students as my child as they were growing up as well in other classes. And once you realise how easy it is to use, it's not actually a lot of work to make that connection with home. Years ago, we used to send CDs home with photos of the year and all that. SeeSaw supersedes this, and we don't need to. And it's got the benefit of adding videos to it. And parents can respond on a blog, on almost like a Facebook. It's not Facebook, but parents can comment on their child's work, and so their child can also get feedback from home. And it involves families in their child's learning in real time, so they are knowing what's happening right then and there. And that's a benefit for these portfolios compared to one that goes home at the end of term or at the end of the year. The children have forgotten what's happened. Here they have it on the day and they can talk with their parents about it. This is what it looks like when you want to add something to SeeSaw. You get a screen that shows up like this, and then the children are also able to learn how to document. If they want to take a photo, if they want to take a photo out of camera roll, they can also record a video, they can draw, they can add a note, which is just text then if they need to write a note home. Dear Mum, I need to answer this question for school, can you help? And there's also a possibility in the bottom corner here to go to a link, linking up with any other documents or items on the web. It also allows a lot of organisation. Teachers can set up little folders for their work. On this one here, it's showing what was posted on a particular day. 14 items were posted, and the teacher can quickly see these were the 14 items that were posted. If it was an assignment that the students had to post onto SeeSaw, the teacher can straight away see who's done it and who hasn't. In this particular case, children have had a math question. They took a photo of their math book, and then they had to use the drawing tool to draw on the actual photo how they worked out the problem. And then they had to post it to SeeSaw so the teacher could see the working out. The journals can be organised into sortable, accessible photos, and it's as simply for a teacher as going add folder, and you can make up the name of any folders that you want. You can also browse through the folders if you're looking for oral language. I have a folder called Bible Story Retells, and that way when it comes time to do reporting, and I can't quite remember how well a child could retell a Bible story, I go into that folder, I quickly have a few short snapshots of how well they're telling their Bible stories. Same with oral language. You may have concerns about their oral language, and so you get a bit of a record of whether they're improving over the year. And another great one in the early years is to regularly take a photo of the book that they're reading, their home readers, and record their reading. And over the year you see progress in their reading in a real way, because it's all sorted in those folders. This slide, it shows that you can encourage a lot of deeper thinking and reflection. The students have options of being able to talk about what they've done. So once they've taken a photo, here's a math question. The teacher wants them to show and prove that they understand the concept of acute angles here. They can either type it where the T for text is. They can, over here, draw with their finger on top. The student has done that with the yellow writing. But then there's also a speaker on every photo, and they can record their voice explaining what they mean. It's a really powerful tool for children if you take a photo or have them take a photo of their work and then just talk on the iPad or talk on the photo to explain it. You don't need to take a lot of class time to do that, but they may later on present it to the class as their little talk. There are many compatible apps, and the compatible apps keep on adding up. If you go onto the SeeSaw website, you'll find out that there's about 4 pages of compatible apps at the moment. Cheryl's going to talk about Book Creator. That's another thing. Anything that you can upload or save as a PDF basically can be saved into SeeSaw. It comes up as an option straight away on your iPads, on your computers, and if it doesn't, that means that one of your settings isn't right. SeeSaw's got excellent support across the world, so what you would do is, if you really don't know how to do something, you check frequently asked questions in the help centre. If you still can't find the answer, just email them and they'll be straight back to you with a whole explanation. So they've got excellent follow-up and support. The great thing about SeeSaw is it gives your students an authentic audience. they straight away know that others are going to see it, and their work quality improves because they know mum and dad are going to see this. Any other invited people who have access to their blogs. I've got quite a few students who have grandparents in Canada and Holland who also have access to their grandchildren's journal, and so they keep up as well how their children are doing at school, and it's been a really great way for them to connect with their grandchildren on a daily basis. They also can comment back to the grandchildren, oh, you know, well, that was an excellent building that you made, and ask questions about it, and the children can respond back. SeeSaw gives the teacher the control over who can see what and feedback options, because you can disable any of the options in the settings. Feedback, if you don't want them commenting on things, you can disable that. That's totally up to you. Another thing is that you may have work that this is a new way to do Parents' Night. You may have this amazing artwork and the student wants to talk about their artwork and explain it. So what you can do is have your child take a photo of it. Once it gets onto SeeSaw, SeeSaw automatically generates QR codes. And so the parent can go, if you post the QR code next to the real artwork, the parent can then listen to the child talking about their artwork on Parents' Night. I don't know how else to make QR codes, but that's something else for the ICT to teach us. The other thing is parents at any time can copy, save the work, and at the end of the year they can print out a whole PDF for all the work and the photos that have happened over the year. It's really important to remember teachers are always in control, so if something is not quite going right, check your settings. Students, when they put their work up, they have their own login, which is called a class login. Teachers have a teacher login. If you post something on teacher login, it goes directly on SeeSaw with no in-between step. If the students log in with their class login, which is basically a QR code, you stick it on the wall, they hold the iPad up to it, and it will log in like that. And you'll see there will come up a tick or a cross. You need to approve it first before it goes live. And that's a great little safety device, especially if in the older grades, if you're not really sure what's going up, you don't want all sorts of silly things posted. You can check and you can either delete or say, yep, that's what we talked about, that's okay, and you can allow it. You can also decide whether students can see each other's work and comment on each other's work and whether they can edit their work or not. All of that is in the settings function of SeeSaw. It's been a great way to extend connections between school and home and the extended family, as I said. They will enable notifications on their phone, and then what happens is that as soon as something's posted, they'll have notification of it on their phone. Check your SeeSaw, there's activity in SeeSaw. It's also been a great way, if children leave the room, I've got the little ones in pre-primary, so if they leave and they're a bit upset, about 10 minutes later you take a photo of them and they can send a little message to mum on a little video and then say, hi mum, I'm all happy now or something, and then the mums feel good for the rest of the day too. So it's a quick way to connect with the families. I've also had it where a child got injured, so I took a video of the child, sent it to mum and said, do you think it's bad enough to come pick up, or shall I just put a band-aid on it, that sort of thing. It's just handy either way. It doesn't always have to be directly school work related for SeeSaw. The SeeSaw Help Centre, there's two ways to get to it. One is on the app on your iPad if you've got SeeSaw connected, and another way, if you haven't set it up yet, is just go to the SeeSaw website and you'll see SeeSaw Help Centre, and then you can go into any of these. There's so much PD that you can do as well. PD in your pyjamas. Getting started tips. The biggest box is this one of the frequently asked questions. You can also just type in a search at the top there. Setting up your class may seem daunting, but it actually takes 30 seconds once you just read how to do it. It's very easy to set up your class. PD in your PJs. See what other teachers are doing around the world. And then comes the issue of student data. Is it safe and is it secure? It doesn't get saved on our server. It actually goes into the cloud. And it's run by an American company. And that's going to be something in terms of when we talk about our policies and things like that, where do we keep our data? Student data is safe and secure. There's more than, I think, about 25,000 schools across the world using it, and the number probably grows every year. There's also a lot of information about SeeSaw privacy that you could print out to show to your parents before they agree to this. And that's where it's really important that you don't just say, oh, we're just doing SeeSaw and parents have to come on board. Parents need to be in control whether their information is posted, that's their child. So what we do is we send home a parent consent form after we've introduced it to the parents, and there's also a little, what do you call this? Presentation you can show to the parents to introduce SeeSaw. There's a link, it's on help@seesaw.me, and there's further information about privacy that you can print out, and you can also give them the option to go on the website themselves and check it out for themselves, which some of our parents did. When we fill out the form, we always give the parents the option to remove consent at any time, because if they decide after a few months, no, I don't want my child's information posted, that is their right, they can do that. But we have to let them know that that's also possible. They also need to consent to their child's photo or video appearing in other journals. If you're taking a photo of a group of children, you're obviously going to have their photo in someone else's journal. And some parents may not like that, and then it means whatever you're posting, you need to be careful that you don't go against their consent. We send out a bit of a letter, and then we get parents to tick that they understand what they're actually agreeing to. And if you want a sample of that, just email me and I can send you through our consent letter for an idea. If you still need help, there are SeeSaw ambassadors around the world to connect with. They get back to you really quick. They send you emails to see how's it going, do you need any help. And the great thing about SeeSaw is that for the basics, it's free. If you want to go into the blogs and into using SeeSaw more to capture learning and assessment and all that, then it starts costing the school. We've used it for a number of years, and it's been free for schools, it's free for parents as well. Any questions? No, in Bunbury?
If students go from, say, Rockingham to JCCC, what happens to that portfolio?
The portfolios, well, the portfolios are archived at the end of the year. So the only way to carry portfolios over from year to year is if the school actually pays, it's between $5 to $10 per student, and they have a paid account. Otherwise, it's free for the year, and at the end of the year, it's archived. It stays in the teacher's name, and the teacher can still unarchive something from years ago. So there's a little, they send you a reminder at the end of the year, it's time to archive your class, and then the parents can print out a PDF of all the information. When you upload videos, I always encourage parents, save it straight away. You can click on the video, there's the 3 little dots at the bottom. You've got your option to save it straight away instead of having a mountain of work at the end of the year. As soon as you've watched one and said, oh, that's one I want to keep, it's priceless, I encourage them, remember to save the things that you find important.